What do you do when you have a house that's built lower than the grade around it? If there's water left up against the house, up against the foundation, whether it's a basement or a crawl space, it's only a matter of time before it becomes a problem. Water that's just left to sit is going to end up finding its way into the structure. This will contribute a musty odor as well as mold and mildew. Now we're going to have two systems in one trench. We're going to have a curtain French drain with the 8-slot royal blue, and then we're going to have a solid armor pipe for the roof runoff system. We're going to have all the downspouts tied in series. We're going to be flowing so much water that there's no way shingle, gravel, tree seeds, leaves are going to be a problem. When you tie 4 or 5 downspouts in one 4-inch pipe, that pipe is so clean. As you go downstream, the pipe just becomes cleaner and cleaner. So we have cleanouts on all the downspouts. We taped up every single connection in that solid pipe. You don't want that pipe to lose pressure. The pressure is what's going to keep that pipe clean. So you want to tape every single fitting. You want to tape every single connection in the solid pipe so that you're not losing water. That would cause a loss of pressure. We're then going to wire these two systems together. We're going to take them to a single discharge line, take it out front to a storm drain. We're going to show you how this system was built. We're going to show you exactly how it was laid out. Now, when you are going around a basement, you want to stay really shallow. You want to stay really shallow and just off the basement wall. If you're going to be going a little deeper around a basement wall, you're going to want to be 4 feet off the house. Now, this was a crawl space in the very back. Over here, where this is extremely shallow, there's a basement. You don't want to go deep on a basement wall. You're just going to encourage water to run down the basement wall. If we had a basement underneath this house all the way around it, we would have been 4 feet off the house because we're going to be so deep as we go behind the house down the back side of the home. Now, we had to pull some sidewalks. We had to pull a couple of slabs to get this system in. The men also had to core drill through a footing underneath a wing wall. During the excavation, we dug up an engine block, kind of fitting, working just north of the Motor City. This curtain drain that goes around this house was built on 1% slope. We started out extremely shallow on one side of the house, and we kept getting deeper and deeper as we worked our way around this big addition that was put on this home years ago that has a crawl space under it. Right here, this slab was so much lower than the yard, it would just hold water, and the water would slowly find its way into the garage and penetrate its way through the basement. There was effervescence showing all the moisture that was working its way through all that concrete that makes up a foundation for a basement. Right around this portion of the home, the pipe literally is difficult to cover with stone because we're that high. You want to start shallow as you possibly can. And since we can't get the water to flow away from the house and we're literally flowing the water around the house, we want to create our own slope to encourage it to work its way all the way around to that storm drain in the street. The men cored underneath a wing wall through a foot of concrete. They pulled sidewalks apart to get water out of this backyard. A lesser crew would have had to put a pump system in to get this water out of the backyard. Now in the front, we just ran all the single downspouts to pop-ups, and we put an inline catch basin. So there's that inline catch basin. Now, because we're only flowing the water of one downspout, I wanted that inline catch basin so that can be cleaned a couple times a year with a shop vac. Now, we're going to do an open French drain. An open French drain is when you just leave the stone exposed. We are going to burrito wrap that. You're going to see the guys close that up, and then we're going to put that 1.5-inch round rock on top. Now, again, this house sat lower than the grade around it, so the water was just left to lay up against that big addition on the back of this house, and again, that is on a crawl space. We get quite deep as we work our way to this side of the home. You have to have 1% slope on that trench so you can chase that water out. Here's our discharge line all the way to the street. We had some really good fall out to the street. This will be a great gravity system. It's going to have high velocity. It's really going to rip. If you look at the brick veneer really close, you're going to see the mold and mildew that was building up on it because it was always wet around this house. Now, where we started the system, we started so shallow, you can see the pipe. We filled that trench with stone, and you can see the top of the pipe. That's how shallow we started that trench. We then went deeper as we went around this addition on the house that's built on this crawl space. We're chasing the water around the home. We added a second perforated pipe, the 8-slot Royal Blue, once we ended up in a deeper trench. So there's 2 pipes that are perforated, and there's 1 solid for the roof runoff system. We have all those pipes coming around the house to a discharge line. Here you can see a finished open French drain. Look how nice that looks. The men closed up the French drain. That curtain drain has been burrito wrapped, so no debris can fill the voids of the drainage stone. This drain is going to last forever. Now remember, when you do your burrito wrap and you have a really wide curtain French drain like we have here, you're going to have to add a strip of fabric to the top. Make sure you only have a couple inches of overlap. You don't want a heavy overlap because you're not going to get the water to drain down through the fabric. This fabric has holes punched in it to improve its flow rating. If you overlap the fabric, the holes do not line up and you're not going to get flow. Now we dug underneath the street curb so that we can core through the sidewall of a city storm drain. Now keep in mind that the right drainage stone to use is 1.5 inch round rock. Round rock has bigger voids. That'll move more water and it'll also circulate more air. So after you move all that bulk water during a rain event, the air that circulates through your French drain system will promote drying of the subsurface soil. Also, round rock doesn't compact. Crushed stone does compact, reducing the void and reducing the drainage stone's effectiveness. If you have a video that you want me to make, or if you have any further questions about this installation, leave those in the comment section. If you found any of this information helpful, give us a thumbs up. It supports our channel. Remember, if you're doing a drainage system that has a discharge line that's not packed in stone, you're going to want to take your time packing all the dirt around that discharge line. That way, you don't have to revisit this job location to take care of issues where the dirt has settled. Also, remember to clean out those inline basins that are on the single run downspouts twice a year with your shop vacuum. This will prevent clogging and it'll keep your line flowing free. You want your drainage systems to be ready for those big thunderstorms and those big rain events. All right, everybody, I'm your host, Robert Sherwood, and until the next video.